Hi! Okay, so I know I did a Get Ready With Me like literally a week ago, but I have no other time to tell you this story, and I have to get ready for work anyway. So, hey, welcome to another Get Ready With Me. They say don't meet your heroes. Well, the other day I met mine. When Fan Expo Canada announced that Lucy Lawless and Renee O'Connor, but mainly Lucy Lawless for me, I was coming to Fan Expo this year, pretty much lost my mind. It just seems like so many coincidences. Like, it's funny because I have like a picture of Xena on my like dream board for this year, and I meant because I wanted to cosplay her, and I actually had just got the costume in like February, March-ish, and had worn it to my first ever convention back in March for March Toronto Comic Con. And my sister Sam was joking that because I have this picture of Xena on my dream board, I like willed her here. But it was just actually for the costume, and I didn't make the costume. I honestly ordered it off of a costume store on Amazon. And then when it came in, it obviously didn't fit me very well because I am weirdly shaped. So my mother, being the amazing seamstress that she is, fixed it and made it fit me pretty much perfectly. And then I made the chalk rim out of a wire planter and duct tape. And then I just wear my like regular brown boots with it. So it's not like it's a costume that I particularly work very hard on, but I really like it because I've always wanted to cosplay Xena. And I'm not like a skilled in that sort of crafting, so if I had made it, it would have been hideous. So I wanted to do Xena right, so I bought this, and then they announced that she was coming to Fan Expo. I honestly knew immediately that I was going to pay whatever the cost was for a photo op with her, because I've always told myself that I would pay whatever the cost was for a photo op with Lucy Lawless. So I was going to do that no matter what, and it ended up being quite expensive, so I couldn't afford to do the team-up photo of her and Renee as well, but I had kind of accepted that and moved on with my life. Cut to the day of the actual convention, and I was super excited. Can you believe it's today? It is today. Look at my outfit. Look at my hair. I'm going to meet Lucy Lawless today, and I'm going to be dressed as Xena. And I'm so excited. My sister Emily and I, honestly, I have like the best big sisters ever. Big sister goals. Emily and I kind of beeline to where Lucy Lawless's table was as soon as we got to the con that day, to find out when she'd be at her desk doing autographs, because I had kind of decided that I wanted to do it, even though that was also quite expensive. And so when we got there, we found out that she would be back at her table around 2. And right at that point, it was around 12:30. So we walked around the convention for a little bit, and then we noticed that people had started kind of unofficially lining up. So we kind of went back and joined them in their unofficial line. One of the accidental benefits of being in a wheelchair is that I am a large machine, and therefore an inconvenience to everyone around me. So oftentimes at conventions and stuff like that, where you have to like line up in a small space, they will move me to the VIP section just so I'm not in the way. So the employees at Fan Expo came and got me out of the line and put me in a little VIP section, which happened to be in between where Renee and Lucy were going to be when they came back to sign. So I could basically like see where they were going to be sitting. They were going to be like 8 feet away. So Renee ends up coming back before Lucy does. And because I've decided to get the autograph from Lucy as well, I can't afford anything with Renee. Xena as a character just always resonated more with me than Gabrielle. If you are one of my original Tumblr followers, you know that Gabrielle actually drives me nuts for half of the series. It's because she has that whole like arc where she's decided not to be a warrior, where she's going to be like a saint and a whatever, and just be like peace and love and all that. And it doesn't work with Xena's lifestyle. It drives me nuts. Anyway, so it's nothing against Renee, obviously. Like, she didn't write Gabrielle, but if I can only afford one, I'm going to afford Lucy. So, you know, I felt bad because Renee came back. I can see her. She, like, waved at me, and I was like, okay, great. But I can't afford to come meet you. And I'm sure Renee herself wouldn't mind, but the Fan Expo staff are really tough on that sort of thing. Let's go with that. And they won't let you get anywhere near their stars without paying. So I was like, I can't do it. So anyway, I'm in La La Land, talking to Emily, or just being in La La Land, blah, 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 and she like taps me because Renee is on her way over to us. So what I found out after is there's this guy in that area taking photos for Getty, and asked Renee if he could take a photo of her at her desk, basically, and she was like, yeah, but I want her in the photo with me. Her being me. So Renee walks over and she goes, hey, can I get a photo with you? What? Renee O'Connor, actual Gabrielle, asked for a photo with me. How amazing is that? So, like, of course my answer is yes. But she kind of caught me off guard. So if you look at the photo, I look a little bit awkward. I found the photo magically last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I didn't know Renee had Instagram because it's not verified, and there's a lot of other like fake fan accounts where people are pretending to be her. So I didn't know she had a real one until Fan Expo tagged it. So she actually posted the photo of us on Instagram herself. Like that's how I found it. Can you believe it's so crazy? So I met her, and just for the record, Renee O'Connor and Lucy Lawless both, but like just so you know, they were both like right here. Stunning. Like neither of them have aged at all, and if any, it's like beautifully. I don't know how it's possible for two humans to be so freaking gorgeous, but they are. I need to stop letting this foundation or else I'm never gonna get to work. She was so sweet. She asked for a photo with me, and then I felt even more awkward because she went back to her desk, and then I couldn't afford to go over to see her. But anyway, a little while goes by, and they finally like usher me over because Lucy's about to come out, and that's when I'm like, heart palpitation, about to go into like full tachycardia, not emotionally prepared to meet Xena herself. But it's like, I want you to know right now that it's not like it's just Xena that I love. It is Lucy Lawless too. Like, she's an amazing person as well. She's definitely got more of that like free spirit, like funny, a little more charismatic than Xena is. So I definitely relate to Xena maybe a little more to actual Lucy Lawless. But Lucy herself is amazing. She's an advocate for so many things, especially the environment. Really involved in politics, even being from New Zealand. Like, she's really involved. If you look at her Twitter and like American politics and that sort of thing, like she's very in the know, and I really agree with like all of her political standpoints. It's not like when I met Kevin Sorbo, like I had to meet him because we always had this joke when I was a kid that he was like our other dad, because my mom watched Hercules all the time. She never really watched Xena. I loved Xena because I loved the idea of like that strong female role model, but my mom watched Hercules, so when Kevin Sorbo came to Niagara Falls Comic Con, I wanted to meet him. But Kevin Sorbo was kind of a dick. Like, if you look at his Twitter and his Facebook and that sort of thing, like, this is an insane man. If he had charged more than $20 to meet him, I wouldn't have done it. But I kind of just felt that nostalgia obligation, and I'll never do it again. And I don't follow him on any social media and any of that. But so it's definitely a very different case with Lucy Lawless, because I do see her a lot like Xena. You know what I mean? She's, like I said, a little more, like, free-spirited. She seems like she'd be a little more fun than Xena. But she's definitely still that badass lady, the way that Xena is. So I'm in line. She comes out. She's freaking stunning. I get up there, and I was just like, okay, don't say anything stupid. Don't say anything stupid. So I told her, I was like, I just want you to know that I've been harassing Fan Expo on social media for years to bring you here, just so I can tell you that I love you. I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of that. And she, like, smiled, and she was like, oh, that's so sweet, in her thick New Zealand accent. And then she, like, took a second look at my costume and was like, oh my god, your costume looks amazing. Did you make it? And I was like, no, I bought it. She was like, I was gonna say, I thought you were, like, maybe some kind of, like, craftsman or something. And I was like, no, I just bought it. And she was so sweet, and then she signed a little poster for me, and I was like, okay, thank you so much. I'll see you later at your photo op. And she was like, I'll see you, darling. And I was like, that's so amazing. I love her so much. And then, so I basically held the little picture to my chest all day, and it was amazing. Should I just continue talking? Because I'm almost done the story. But I'm nowhere near done my face makeup. And then, so a couple hours go by, and we come back to wait for my photo op. Coolest thing ever is that in line for the photo op, and throughout the day in general, I saw maybe 8 or 9 Xena cosplayers other than myself. Before this convention, I had only ever seen 2. One at Fan Expo a couple years ago, whatever the year I met Matt Fraser was. There was one there, and she had a Gabrielle and a Callisto with her. So that was a thing. And then a couple years before that, there was one at Anime North with a Hercules. So other than those two, I've never seen a Xena cosplayer, and there were tons here. And a bunch of people in, like, Xena shirts as well, and with different Xena merch. So there was, like, Xena everywhere at this convention, which was amazing, because I've never seen that before. So anyway, we're in line for the photo op, and I see Lucy. I pull up for my photo op, and she's like, there she comes, Miss Canada. And without even a moment's hesitation, she, like, gets down on my level, puts her arm around me. I ask her if I can put my arm around her. I just feel like I'm supposed to do that, right? I was like, can I put my arm around you? And she was like, of course. I had to ask. I don't know. Some people don't want to be touched. Some people don't want to be touched. So she puts her arm around me. She picks up my chakram. I had it, like, tucked into my chair, but she picked it up. So that's in the picture with us, which is, like, surprisingly a really decent photo. I either photographed decently or terribly. There's no in between. And thank God my face decided to be decent in that photo. Imagine, I paid $85 for a photo and it turned out bad. So we take the photo. I thanked her so much for her time. I was like, thank you so much, and thank you for coming. Here I am, like, word vomiting. Thank you for coming, I love you so much. So you, like, changed my life, but so did you, because you're also amazing. And she gave me another hug and was like, stay fabulous, darling. She talked like that a lot to me for some reason. I don't know if she thinks she's Cruella de Vil or something, but it was really rad. And then I had accidentally shut my chair off, so it took me a second to turn my chair back on. And then I pulled away, and that was my Lucy Lawless experience. She was so sweet and so nice, and I really like her. Even still, I always have this fear that whenever I'm going to meet someone I really admire, I'm going to not like them anymore after, because you hear so many horror stories, right? Especially with celebrities. They're, like, uppity and full of themselves or whatever. But I met Demi Lovato, and she was super nice to me. She was really worried when I asked her if I could tell her something, but, I mean, I'm sure people say shit things to her all the time. So once I said, like, I love you so much, and you change everybody's life, she was like, she was chill after that. And obviously Renee and Lucy were both amazing. I'm a little bummed I didn't get to go to their panel because their panel was on a Sunday. And commuting from Niagara to Toronto is hard enough as it is, but commuting on a Sunday is even worse because buses in Niagara aren't very good on Sundays. So I didn't get to go to their panel, but honestly, I'm not too bummed about that because, I don't know, I'm afraid of some of the things that people would have asked them, you know? I've been to enough Sailor Moon panels at conventions in my day to be a little bit wary. Well, I'm done my story now, and I don't have my makeup done at all, so great. Okay, so this video was going to be 1,000 years long. It pretty much already is, if I didn't just do my makeup and get it over with. So on my eyes is, of course, the Bonbons palette, like every pink shade in this palette, and then the Satin Sheet shade is my highlighter, and then liner, mascara. The nude sticks thing I use on my cheeks as my lips. That's it. That's all we got. Fan Expo Toronto this year brought actually a lot of guests that were, like, right up my alley. I mean, I'm not really big into paying to meet celebrities anyway. Like, they've had guests in the past that I would love to meet, but, like, I'm not going to pay for it, you know what I mean? And there were a lot of guests this year that are kind of in that boat as well. Like, Jennifer Morrison. I love her. I'm still watching House. Like, she's great. And I love Once Upon a Time. And Jodie Benson, of course. Like, who doesn't love Jodie Benson? She also looks the same that she did in 1989. I wasn't even alive, and I know that she looks the same as she did back then. But I always said I would pay for Lucy, because Xena was such a huge part, and still is such a huge part of my heart. You know, I don't know that if as a little kid I would say I was full of anger, but I was always definitely on defense. Because when you're, I mean, I hate to blame my disability for this, but as someone who is very obviously physically disabled, you're taught that no matter what, you're going to be the butt of everyone's jokes. So, without realizing it, instead of being bullied, I often became the bully. It's not something I'm proud of, but I was always in defense mode, always ready for that. Even if it didn't come, I was ready for people to pick on me. So here was this tough, badass warrior who kicked ass, who took names. People underestimated her all the time, and she was amazing. But Xena also had this incredible ability to be vulnerable at the same time. And I really admired that because I hadn't really quite figured that out, and I still haven't really quite figured that out, to be honest. I'm still just a bitch half the time. And, you know, it's something that I've always loved about Xena that I always wanted to take from her and apply to myself. And like I said, I'm still working on it. And then there's the added part that Xena, like, the show takes place after Xena has been terrible. She was a warlord. She was, you know, responsible for how many deaths. She was with Caesar. She was with Ares. So the whole series is her trying to atone for all of the terrible things that she did. We're just going to ignore the finale, okay? We're just going to ignore it. And I also really admire that because I feel like, especially in the social climate we live in now, I definitely think there are some things that are unforgivable. You know, serial sexual assault, for example. I don't think you can come back from that. But there are some things that I think people can come back from. And I think, you know, in the case of Xena, here is a character who was very obviously trying to atone for all the bad shit that she did. And I think, in a way, as someone who has been terrible for most of her life, I am trying to get better and trying to atone for being terrible for most of my life. And I think Xena is someone that I really identify with on that level. And I think that's why I'm always so tempted to give, I'll use James Charles as my example, the benefit of the doubt. Because A, what he did was really not that bad with the disability tweet or whatever. I mean, was it insensitive? Sure. Was it dumb? Sure. But it's not unforgivable. And so I think if he's willing to show that he's going to be better, why wouldn't we forgive him? And that's kind of what the whole series of Xena, again, ignoring the finale, is about. It's about forgiveness and becoming better versions of you. And that's just something I really adore and really admire. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much to Lucy Lawless for being so fabulous, and to Renee for being fabulous as well, because I couldn't even afford to meet her. But I met her anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and you subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed already. And I'll see you next time. Bye!